Hello and welcome to Sports Fan Entertainment, and it is time for my picks and predictions for the 2018 AFC and NFC Championship games. And let us start with the AFC Championship game that features the Jacksonville Jaguars traveling to New England and taking on the New England Patriots. But really quick, man, I have to talk about the games that happened last week as we predict the games are going to happen this week because I missed my game recaps from last week. Now, I did not believe that the Jaguars were going to get it done, but they did it. They went to Pittsburgh. They defeated the Pittsburgh Steelers in a 45-42 victory. Yet another disappointing season for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now, I don't think they should fire Mike Tomlin, but that's another discussion for another day. The Jaguars got it done, but meanwhile, their defense showed some weaknesses. Now, you can say, and you'd be right to say, that Antonio Brown and the incredible plays that he made were just incredible, and you really can't be too down the Jaguars defense after such a great effort that he had last week, like the huge catch he had over AJ Boye down the left sideline, 4th and 5, a damn near 50-yard touchdown. It was fantastic, and the New England Patriots probably won't replicate that, and you'd probably be right. But still, the Steelers put 42 on the Jacksonville Jaguars, and now you're going up to New England. Now you're going up to Foxborough, where last week the Patriots dominated the Tennessee Titans, and yes, they're just the Tennessee Titans, but they showed yet again why the Patriots are on another level, and we've seen in the AFC that they beat damn near everybody, unless if you're a team with a really good defense like the Ravens and Broncos have had in the past. So there is a chance here for the Jacksonville Jaguars. I don't want to discount that. I don't want to discredit that. This defense, their front four with Calais Campbell, whom they signed from the Arizona Cardinals in the 2017 NFL free agency period. This guy's been fantastic. I believe he was second in sacks in the NFL this season with about 15 sacks. This guy used to play defensive end in a 3-4 defense, now plays defensive end in a 4-3 defense, and there is a difference there. For him to be able to get that many sacks is incredible. Dante Fowler, Yannick Ngakoue, Marcel Darius, their defensive line is stacked, and we have seen that the New England Patriots in the past, when they lost to those New York Giants teams, have struggled against teams with great defensive lines. When the Giants had Osi Umenyiora and Jason Pierre-Paul and Michael Strahan coming after the quarterback, Tom Brady would struggle and they would lose to those Giants teams. But with all that said, man, the Patriots still appear to be on a different level, and I have a hard time, as I'm sure a lot of you do too, picking Blake Bortles to be the man to beat Tom Brady. Now, Blake Bortles, I think his performance this year has been a little bit overblown. I actually think it's been pretty good. He just had about 3 or 4 really bad games, okay? 2 of which were against the Tennessee Titans, right? So we're able to look at those games, especially if you're a Titans fan, and say, okay, Blake Bortles stinks. But his overall stats this year, 21 touchdowns to 13 interceptions, that's not too bad. And we saw last week, man, he was really a huge part for the Jaguars getting the victory, if not the majority of the reason why the Jaguars were able to beat the Steelers, right? Because the Jaguars defense ended up allowing a lot of touchdowns, a lot of points in the second half, but Blake Bortles kept making plays in the second half, kept throwing the ball up to Keelan Cole and company, and they were able to keep scoring points on that Steelers defense. So Blake Bortles is not too bad, but I also cannot say he's good enough to beat Tom Brady in this Patriots squad in New England, in Foxborough, to head to their first Super Bowl. I just can't pick. The interesting discussion here to me is whether or not the Patriots are going to cover this -9 spread, and I'm going to say yes, man, because I didn't think they're going to cover the -14 spread last week against the Titans. They did. They tend to cover the spread in New England. Colin Cowherd had a great stat once in his lifetime. Wow, he actually had a great stat. The Patriots are 12-3 when favored by about double digits or more. I mean, and that's against the spread. Like, they actually cover 12 out of 15 times. So I'm going to pick them in Foxborough to get it done and cover the spread. Maybe the Jaguars can be a backdoor cover because we've seen Blake Bortles have great success in garbage time, but ultimately, I got to pick the Patriots. No great analysis here, just because of the Patriots. Honestly, that's the analysis, and because they looked really good last week, and their defense, which has struggled this season, it's really picked up late in the season, and they showed that last week, getting 7 sacks on Marcus Mariota. Minnesota, giving the Patriots to defeat the Jacksonville Jaguars. And now we move on to the NFC Championship game. The Minnesota Vikings at the Philadelphia Eagles, two 13-3 defensive teams going at it. And last week, I did not make my divisional round picks, but I tweeted, and I'll show the tweet here. I had the Eagles defeating the Falcons in Philadelphia. Why? Because that game was in Philadelphia, and people were discounting the fact, and it's the obvious fact about this football team, their defense is really, really, really good. Not even really good. It's great. It's a great defense. And I'm telling you, man, Eagles fans, y'all are going to rue this season if you can't get it done, because I'm telling you, if Carson Wentz was healthy, man, with this defense, they would have had home field advantage throughout the NFC playoffs. I mean, beating the Patriots is not easy, but they would have got a ticket there easily to me, and they would have had one hell of a shot. I would have picked them. I would have picked them to be the New England Patriots. Y'all are going to rule this season if you can't get it done, and I fear you may not be able to. But for this game, the Minnesota Vikings last week, let's talk about them for a second before we move on to the Eagles again. What a great victory by the Minnesota Vikings. What a play by Stephon Diggs. I did have the Vikings winning that game. I thought it'd be in a little more comfortable fashion than that, but they still got it done. And I really like the Vikings this season. You know, I felt heading into this season, people were discounting the Vikings. I thought that they could end up being Super Bowl contenders. I have them going 9-7, but I felt if Sam Bradford could stay healthy, which he was not able to, that they could be better. But luckily for them, they were able to find someone better than Sam Bradford ultimately. Look, Case Keenum right now, people. I understand his name is Case Keenum, and we don't like the name Case Keenum. We've attributed that name to bad quarterback play for the past 3 or 4 years, and we don't want to change our minds on that. People, change your minds on that. This guy's playing well. And although Stephon Diggs made a great play last week, it was Case Keenum that made the throw to get the ball there. And that was a pretty damn good throw. And leading up to that throw, he had played a pretty damn good game. Second half wasn't great. First half was really good. And he was able to establish that 17-0 lead. This guy's played really well. 22 touchdowns to 7 interceptions. Case Keenum this season, those statistics were right on par with Drew Brees. Okay, so honestly, people, Case Keenum is playing well. And the Vikings, though, last week, though, the thing that concerns me about them, they showed a good amount of defensive holes for them, which is surprising because they've been the best defense in the NFL the entire year. But Drew Brees was able to consistently in the second half move the football on them, put up points on them. When the Vikings were able to secure the lead, not to end the game, but you know, in the fourth quarter, they allowed Drew Brees to go down and get a field goal to potentially lose the game. I saw a lot of problems in the Vikings defense last week, whereas the Eagles didn't show many flaws. They didn't show many troubles last week in Philadelphia, man. Beating them in Philadelphia is tough. Look at what Philadelphia has allowed in their last 5 games at home. Last week, 10 points. Week before that, 6 points. Week before that, 10 points. A couple weeks before that, 3 points. A week before that, 10 points. They don't allow points in Philadelphia. Now, a couple teams have been able to do it. I think the Redskins went over there and scored 24. I think another team did as well, but 24 is the most amount of points that have been scored in Philadelphia. And for the past like 2 months, it's been 10. Okay, so I look at that and I say, oh my God, are the Vikings going to be able to get it done? So what we clearly have here is a football game that is going to be close. It's going to be tough. We have 2 great defensive teams going at it. So the question to me is simple, because the first 3 quarters, someone's going to be leading by the end of it. Okay, sure, fine. I think it's going to come down to the fourth quarter, who is going to make the plays to win the football game. And right now, I got to go with Case Keenum and Stephon Diggs and Adam Thielen and company. I'm going with the Minnesota Vikings because they've shown the ability, not only this season, but even last week, to get it done in those moments. Nick Foles and the Philadelphia Eagles, they have shown the ability. Last week, they got it done in Philly, and it was impressive, and I predicted it. But I just trust Case Keenum and Stephon Diggs and Adam Thielen a little bit more. Okay, I mean, that's not to say the Eagles have a bad surrounding cast. I mean, Jay Ajayi can make plays, Alshon Jeffrey can make plays, Torrey Smith can make the occasional play, and also the occasional drop. But right now, I'm trusting the Minnesota Vikings. I think they could be on the brink of something special, and they see in their sights the possibility to play in the Super Bowl in Minneapolis and possibly upset who I'm predicting to be the New England Patriots and win their first Super Bowl Bowl in Minnesota. I think they see that in their sights, in their grasp, and they're going to win this game, get it done in the fourth quarter, and head there. But again, this is going to be a close game, and the Vikings are favored by 3. Now, my policy is anytime a team is favored by 3 or more, or 3 or less, and I'm predicting them to win, okay, I'll take the points, right? So I'm going to take the Vikings to cover the 3 points, but again, it's going to be a close game. It would not shock me if the Eagles cover and lose. It wouldn't shock me if the Eagles cover and win. But I'm going with the Vikings. I'm going with Case Keenum. I'm going with Stephon Diggs. I'm going with Mike Zimmer. So there you go. Those are my AFC and NFC championship predictions. What are yours? Comment down below. I want to know. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to like, comment, and most importantly, to subscribe. And until next time, this has been MJ of Sports Fan Entertainment, and I'm out. See you all later.